Hey everyone, welcome back to Absolutely, and today we're going to talk about Spider-Man Lotus.
Nope, we're gonna disappoint everyone in the comments. Instead, we're gonna talk about what are you talking about?
Oh, see, this is going to be a fun one.
Aliens
I got
or
a fun.
something?
So we are bringing back Nope. Right now, due to the writer's strike, there is like zero probable news coming out of everything, so we can't talk about rumors. So what we thought would be fun is to bring back our old series Nope, in which we talk about conspiracy theories, and I see if these two believe the conspiracy theory by the ending or not. But as a fun way to return to the show, I thought today, we would play a game.
Okay.
I have 20 conspiracy theories.
My God.
10 of them are real and were proven true.
Hmm.
And you need to tell me which ones are real or not.
Love it.
Let's
So it's
do
fact
it.
or fiction. You gotta
Yeah.
do are you gonna do the Jonathan Frakes and be like, dead wrong? No, not Frakes. Sorry, we made that up. Gotcha. No, forget about it.
Oh, that could be fun. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the names of two conspiracies.
Okay.
One of them, just so we can kind of get for time. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
if I do 20 conspiracies all the way through, we're not going
I
to
hear
be
ya.
here way too long.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how long it takes to get a normal show out of this. So it might not be all 20. And if we don't, we'll do a second episode. But I'm going to give you two conspiracies. One of them has been proven correct.
Mm.
Okay. One of them. I'm going to give you the bare bones of them so we can kind of go through it.
Okay.
Conspiracy number one. I'm going to give you two at a time. Conspiracy number one.
Yeah.
The CIA had a direct hand in hold on. I want to clarify something real quick. The one of these conspiracies is still just a conspiracy. We don't
Right.
have proof or not whether or not it was proven wrong or not. So whatever. But one of them we have definitive proof that it is real.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
okay. I just want to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA had a hand in JFK's assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested on November 22nd, 1963 for assassinating President John F. Kennedy Jr. the same day in Dallas, Texas. Rumors have it that the CIA arranged for this due to the current situation with the war climate.
Mhm.
Or the Dead Baby Project. The government was stealing dead babies to do radioactive testing on them.
Yeah, I believe the dead babies one.
100%. They took dead babies all the time. They still take dead babies to this day.
Yeah, they're chupacabras. The U.S. government.
Yeah,
They sneak
That's-
into people's houses, just grab your babies.
absolutely, man. And the JFK thing's probably also true.
You are correct.
Yay! No, the CIA did not kill the president.
To your knowledge,
I was like, to your knowledge.
the CIA has done some fishy things, so
This is
I don't
true.
think they'd ever confirm it, but
Yeah.
I have some inside sources that have tapped into quite a few things at the CIA.
I have some inside sources.
Your hat
called
is not
Google.
shiny enough. All right, so the truth is,
Tapping
the
in.
Dead Baby Project, the government was stealing parts of dead bodies because they needed young tissue. They recruited a worldwide network of agents to find recently deceased babies and children and then take samples and even full limbs, each collected without notification or permission of more than 1,500 grieving families.
1,500.
You know what's crazy about that? I imagine like Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane, prom night dumpster baby. Like a
Yeah.
CIA agent is waiting outside of the junior prom, waiting to
Oh
see
my
what happens
God.
out there.
Did really amp this up. If you want to look this one up yourself, it was called Project Sunshine.
I will not be looking up.
I'm okay.
What a oxymoronic name. I love it.
All right. Next up, we've got a case of the government has been poisoning alcohol during Prohibition and during other periods before the 1960s in which they wanted to reduce the consumption of alcohol.
Mm.
The theory is that the government poisoned the alcohol to get people not to do it.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's different than alcohol being poisoned within itself, anyways.
Right. Exactly.
Or the moon landing was faked.
Oh well, we know.
I
The
gotta
moon
put
landing
it
was
in there.
definitely
It's
faked.
one of the most famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know that they didn't really land on the moon. So
Right,
now
right.
we just
There you
know
go. So in 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first humans to land on the surface of the moon.
Dude, I thought you called him Balls Aldrin. I heard that badly in my
Right?
headphones.
But no, they definitely landed on the moon. I'm sorry. They did.
Okay, Sal, how sure are you about that?
100.
No, I mean, like, let's be honest here.
I'm
let's be honest here.
100% certain.
By what? I mean, it.
What do they need to prove that they didn't?
What do they need to prove that they didn't?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they prove that they did? We have rudimentary camera technology. We have no real way of like scoping out this stuff the way we do now. You know, and why haven't we gone back to the moon since? It's a real question.
We've been back to the moon.
So anyway, during
to drop
Prohibition,
off probes. Any people setting foot on the moon anytime soon? Apparently, some
recently.
people in a month actually will be, but
Yeah.
you know,
But
I don't
you
know.
know,
So
Mhm.
between 1926 and 1933, the federal government pushed manufacturers to use stronger poisons to discourage bootleggers from turning the alcohol into moonshine. It didn't stop the bootleggers or their customers, and by the end of Prohibition, more than 10,000 Americans had been killed by tainted booze.
oh my god.
no different than the 10,000 Americans killed by regular booze every
Right.
day.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to smashing into a wall or
As opposed to alcohol poisoning
or just-
getting to you.
or just drinking too much. Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
Okay, next up.
Yeah.
Top Democrats are behind a child sex ring.
Are you gonna say adrenochrome?
What is known as Pizzagate gained traction
No.
online as
No, I'm not playing this one.
No, pizza.
I won't play the little. I'm not gonna play the weirdo on this. I can't. I will not.
Okay, I was like, please don't.
No, that did not happen. Or
There's a period in which the first lady actually ran our country and is credited as being the first woman president in history.
is that Eleanor Roosevelt?
No. So which one is it?
It's
Well,
the
Michelle Obama slayed every day. So
Go with that.
obviously,
Damn
The
right.
conspiracy is a stroke rendered President Woodrow Wilson it was incapable of governing the government. His wife
Huh.
stepped in. The government felt that it was in the country's best interest to keep things quiet. The public didn't learn about his stroke for months, during which time his wife, Edith Wilson, was making all executive decisions. Despite Mrs. Wilson claiming that she only acted as a steward, historians have analyzed the Wilson term of office to confirm that for well over a year, Mrs. Wilson was effectively president of the United States.
That's
know-
insane.
That's
Why
insane.
wouldn't they
That's
just get the
taught
vice
in history
president?
books. Why would they just replace it? But also, why isn't that taught in the history books?
That's a cool piece of information.
Ugh.
If you haven't caught on, this is going to be pretty easy which one's the.
Oh yeah. But still, that's nuts.
That's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a
50%
good
of
one.
Now here's the question: was she good at it?
That's not on here. So
Woodrow
I'm
Wilson's approval rating skyrocketed during the time, saying he's suddenly a better president than he's ever been.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Wilson presidency.
all right, I'm going to make these two both vague.
Okay, great.
The government was testing out mind control during a period of U.S. history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying.
Dog.
Or COVID-19 is actually population control orchestrated by our government.
Okay, so no, I
Well-
don't believe that COVID-19 is a population control method, but if I wanted to do it, it's not a bad move.
Well,
so
I don't
the-
know, man. I would have made a much more powerful weapon to curb.
No, you're only getting
we
rid of the
definitely-
elderly.
We're killing millions a year.
Yeah, no,
not
it's true.
not the millions I'm gunning for. You know what I mean?
Right? No, yeah, no.
Guys
The
know
first one.
COVID has hit a severe spike.
Yes, I
like,
heard that.
and it's a brand new strain, and this is the same as it was when we were in the global health pandemic, as in
Oh,
this
like
is the time to
lockdowns?
wear masks, it is the time to be safer. But because we're no longer in a lockdown because of capitalism,
Yeah.
it's just spreading like wildfire.
It's
right
actually
now.
when I looked up conspiracies this morning for this to verify which ones I wanted to do. That is all over the news
Mhm.
Yeah.
because the conspiracy theory, and you can take this for whatever you want because
Yeah.
obviously this one's still ongoing,
Mhm.
is that we're going to be forced back into a lockdown in October. But it took me
Dude.
about 2 minutes to verify that came from Alex Jones's inside sources.
Let me tell you something.
For those who don't know, Alex Jones is the guy, one, that claimed that the Sandy Hook disaster was a hoax and
Yes.
got literally sued out of oblivion for that.
Yeah,
And
And he
also
still
told
able
you
to
that
talk.
fraud made people gay.
that's right.
Yeah, well, only half of that is true. But I've had some experience with frogs, and I'll tell you, Benny. That we're not going back into lockdown.
We're never going to
Not
go back to lockdown. You're absolutely right.
Never. And it's not because like that medically is the right choice or not, right? Because I
Absolutely.
think in theory, that probably is the best choice on some level. Because if we had done an actual full lockdown originally, we probably would have been done with this shit forever ago.
Oh yeah, no,
But
if they had
capitalism.
actually done it for real, and we actually,
Yeah.
the problem is we didn't do it. That's why the lockdown mask and everything didn't work. Because when you half-ass it, it's not being effective. So,
Yeah,
but
when you half-ass
this is
it,
a
all you
different
do is fix
discussion.
the-
This is a different discussion.
That's
I don't want to turn
It
this
doesn't
into
go
a
on this
COVID
channel normally.
Yeah.
We're not, it's not like we're going to talk about like the health of.
We're not doing the
Cut
political
it
health
all.
crisis. Not
Cut all of it.
Yeah.
So the actual fact is, the government did try mind control. Now, there's a movie based on this, I think, and I can't remember the name of it. I saw it when I was a kid.
I'm sure there's a million of them.
Well, it's MK Ultra. It is real. The CIA
Okay.
started using volunteers. The novelist Ken Kesey was a notable subject, but the program heads soon began dosing people without their knowledge. MK Ultra left many victims permanently mentally disabled.
Yeah,
So,
Stranger
and these
Things
all
is
linked to
based
like
off
much
of
cooler
this.
things, like 11
Yeah.
controversial medical theories that are actually true.
Yeah, no, we did definitely dabble. I mean, the LSD experiments that we did were also like trying to unlock the human mind and stuff like that. Like, it's funny because none of it worked.
Yeah. So I got
Damn
a
it.
good one. I got a good one. I don't know which one you guys are gonna pick. Area 51 has come out and stated that they have aliens during
Okay.
all of the UFO things. Or the Dalai Lama was actually a multimillionaire.
I mean,
Oh.
I would guess the Dalai Lama because I don't think I actually heard anything. I've heard a lot of crap about aliens lately, but I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything about Area 51 specifically. And but I imagine that the Dalai Lama may have copyrighted his own title or
Yeah.
merchandising.
What do you think, Hassan?
Dalai Lama's a weird dude. I'm not gonna put
Yeah.
anything past him. I've seen him kiss kids on the mouth in videos because that's a weird thing that he likes to do. So
I've seen that too.
I
it's
would
weird.
say he's probably rich. But also, guys, if you don't think there are aliens inside of Area 51, what are you
I don't know.
playing?
We
You're
can't
back,
help
you're back on the goofiness, huh?
No, it's not goofy. It's real. Because think about it, right? It's obviously like it's a joke. Area 51, Area 51. What better place to hide them? Than the
So
place
here's the Dalai
everyone's
Lama.
looking?
The Dalai Lama was making $1.7 million a year from the CIA. He was actually being funded. He earned $180,000 a year in connection with the CIA's funding of the Tibetan resistance to the tune of $1.7 million per year. The
Okay.
idea was they were using him to disrupt and hamper China's infrastructure.
Mhm.
The Dalai Lama was on salary to be propaganda.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all.
I didn't know that either. That's crazy. I totally agree. I believe it.
All right. There is a hidden chamber filled with government secrets behind Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I've heard that.
Mhm.
Or John Lennon was under government surveillance.
It's not fair.
John Lennon is
I
under
know that
government
John Lennon
surveillance.
was.
Yeah.
I did hear that.
Well, the
Yeah.
problem is the real ones you may have heard are already.
yeah,
out,
but I've
you know?
heard the rumor about Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah.
But apparently you can't. Not like one can go back there, but like they built this whole thing back there. Like they're supposed. It was originally supposed to be like more of a tourist trap. Like you could go in there, but then
Mhm.
they, I think,
Was
ran
it
out of
also a
money.
museum or something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there is like a crappy mini museum in there, but like it stops at a certain point because they're like, we can't make any more.
If you are a Ben 10 fan, you'll know that the Plumbers Organization, the Intergalactic Police in Ben 10, are stationed inside of Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
So,
cool.
It's a very popular thing in media.
So the John Lennon thing, crazy conspiracy theories regarding celebs is always interesting, and this one is most certainly true. Like many counterculture heroes, Lennon was considered a threat. Anti-war songs like "Give Peace a Chance" didn't exactly endear former Beatle John Lennon to the Nixon administration. In 1971, the FBI put Lennon under a watch list and surveillance,
Mhm.
and the Immigration and Naturalization Service tried to deport him a year later.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the deportation, but that's funny.
Next up, we've got the Earth is actually flat,
Definitely, right.
or the government is spying on you.
I mean, the government is spying on us, but like the thing
government
is,
spying on me.
I feel like the government is spying on
Specifically.
us less than corporations are spying on us.
In 2016, government agencies sent 49,868 requests for user data to Facebook, 27,850 to Google, and 9,076 to Apple,
Isn't it
according to
amazing?
the EFF.
Isn't it amazing that like the government should be the ones that are doing the monitoring, right? I mean, like on one hand, it's messed up and terrible and it's a violation and I don't like it. On the other hand, isn't it even more messed up that the government at some point around 25 years ago went, well, these companies are doing a way better job than we ever could. Why don't we just subpoena them? You know, why don't we just take their data and then we'll just put it into like a spreadsheet? By the way, did you know, here's a fun thing, that if there's a file on you in the government, you can request it. Like you can
Freedom
have
of
to pay
Information
for it,
Act, right?
Yeah, you can request your file. And if the FBI has one on you, they'll send you everything they got on you, which I kind of think is cool. I went and tried to do it and I got not stonewalled, but like bored. It was a really long process and some of it had paywalls and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
All right.
Man.
9/11 was an inside job, or we
Absolutely.
created a fake battle to start a war.
We did both of those things. That's literally 9/11 was an inside job, and then we created a fake battle, which became a war for
Jet
everybody
fuel
else.
can't
after
melt
that.
steel beams. I don't know why anyone doesn't understand it. No, 9/11 was not an inside job. F everybody who says so.
Okay.
But I am curious about that fake battle.
Bush did 9/11.
Bush did 9/11.
Okay, well,
I've heard it all.
here's the thing. It's no secret. You can always extrapolate these things further, right? We absolutely funded the Mujahideen. That is a documented thing. We funded the Mujahideen to fight Russian, Soviets, and whatever to
Yes.
like stop them,
Technically, okay, so like
Yeah. Oh wait. So technically, then the Mujahideen were like, "All right, what do we do next? Let's rebrand Taliban. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're gonna go after some buildings." That's like a historical thing that they refuse to teach in history classes, but I think is like a really important lesson to learn of like get
meddling?
your dick out of other areas. Yeah, like how about you stop messing around in other places because
Yeah.
that's what screws us.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's directly what led to that. And there's a lot of talk, and I don't know the history of it, of like Osama bin Laden and his government training of whether
Yes.
he was a CIA agent or like whatever went
he
into
was
that.
trained by the CIA, as I understand it. He wasn't
Yeah.
like he wasn't like he didn't have a badge, but
Right.
but
He wasn't like a U.S. agent, but he in theory had.
I mean, he was a
training.
charismatic leader, and we definitely like we were like, oh, this guy like knows how to rally people, and he can fight
Yeah.
the Soviets better than we can. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, it's true. But we didn't go like, okay, this is the long game.
No,
We
yeah,
need
that
these
was-
two towers to come down. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
That was never
Right.
the plan.
we're gonna
the-
get involved in a region we have no business going into.
So
Uh-huh.
the fake battle is
We're
the
gonna
Gulf
radicalize
of
the people.
Tonkin. The Gulf of Tonkin on August 2nd, 1964 was faked to get us into the Vietnam War. Declassified intelligence documents have revealed that Maddox had provided support for South Vietnamese attacks on a nearby island and that the North Vietnamese responded in kind. This event opened the floodgates for direct American military involvement in Vietnam. The event never happened.
Interesting. I did.
Let's just
Yeah. Go ahead.
plainly say, yeah. If you say conspiracy theory, U.S. did bad Vietnam, I'm rocking with you, brother. I have
Yeah.
little to know that's probably in the mix there. Sal, please enlighten us.
Oh, I'd heard of the Gulf of Tonkin situation, but I never had any context because I don't really I don't get down on the Vietnam War. I'm not like that kind of nerd, you know.
Right.
I know a lot of people who are like way into it. I have a friend who's
Oh,
like
yeah.
who's very in like not into it, but like he knows all the history.
I
And,
watched Full Metal Jacket once, and it radicalizes their ability to like.
oh,
read
I need
about
to know everything
Vietnam.
about this.
They really get like that. I wish
They
that was a
do.
bit.
I saw Full Metal Jacket exactly twice.
Yeah.
It's a really
I've seen
well
it
made
twice.
movie, but I saw it
Great movie.
once, and the first time I watched it, I'm in the living room at my friend's house, and his father, who was a gunner in Vietnam on a helicopter, came in as that sequence was coming on and just turned it off and then left the room. We were
Oh
like,
my god.
you have some stories, and he did, and I've heard many of them. But anyway, yeah. I don't know anything about it. I just know that like I've heard that term, and I'm like, oh, that's connected. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting, the whole the fact that we started. I thought Bay of Pigs. Is that the link to the Bay
No,
of
no.
Pigs?
Bay of Pigs was the
I thought
we
Bay of Pigs was
promised.
what instigated
No,
it.
that was the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was
Oh,
like,
okay, that's right.
let's take down Castro. We'll fund the rebels, and then we didn't, and they were all slaughtered, and we were like, we felt like it was kind of because like it worked out if we were secret best friends, but like once it got out, I had to disavow all knowledge of
Do
it.
we live in the Fire Nation?
All right, so the last two I'm not going to throw up there because the only other the ones to compare it to that are still considered the conspiracy theories are ones that are a little more touchy. You
Gotcha.
know.
And that's after we talked about Pizzagate, 9/11,
COVID-19
and COVID-19.
Would you
I know
love
what the fourth one is, and
Do
let's
you?
just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It involves Germany in around like the 30s and 40s.
Oh god.
yeah, that's on this list of
Yeah.
ones. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
we're not even gonna
Princess
acknowledge it.
Diana theories are on here. I still
Princess Diana, you know,
Princess Diana theories I can
Sandy
rock
Hook
with.
is on here.
Sandy
I'm
Hook
not
is
rocking
on
with
there.
that one.
No.
I can't do that one. No.
I do think they killed Diana though.
Oh, 100% they killed Diana. It's like not a doubt in my mind.
Then that one, I should have thrown that one in there because then you
Yeah.
guys would have been like,
Wait,
oh no.
Well, then you were like, wrong. It's actually that raisins are really prunes. Like,
How did you get that one? Anyway, I got two real ones though I want to go over to end this. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Canada created real gaydar. Okay.
All right, let's hear this.
What, they just get Justin
I'm
Trudeau to flirt with
The
some guy?
conspiracy is that the Canadian government was so paranoid of homosexuality that they developed a gaydar machine. It really
heard.
happened. In the 1960s, the government hired a university professor to develop a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. He came up with a machine that would measure pupil dilation in response to
That's just a lie
same-sex
detector.
It would measure response to same-sex erotic imagery. The Canadian government then used this machine to exclude or fire more than 400 people from civil service, the military, and the Mounties.
Mhm.
And then it ends with the American government is just as guilty with these top secret 10 U.S. government conspiracies revealed.
I just love the idea of like you're going to your government office, you're like taking off your belt, you're putting your keys in the tray, walking to the metal detector, and one day it just goes gay, 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 gay. And you have to they have to kick you out
Oh
of that.
shit! It found me.
What? Oh no. Hey, speaking of that, did you I'd always heard about this. And when I say always, I mean I heard about it one time and was like, there's no way. The military was developing what's known as a gay bomb.
I did hear about that.
Right, where instead of so like an EMP will like discharge and it will like knock out all the electrical and like instead of like and it's better than dropping like a nuke because then it doesn't destroy the entire population. It just kills the area. The gay bomb was you drop it on your enemy forces and they're so overwhelmed that they just have sex with each other on the battlefield, and so you can just walk over their naked, like writhing bodies, and then take over the bunker.
We're gonna do this in a minute. I found it.
Yeah, yes,
It's real. They really attempted this.
according to the Wikipedia article on the gay bomb, dating back to 1994, which is probably exactly when I heard about this, because like that's the time when people would make a joke about that.
Gay bomb.
The Wright Laboratory in Ohio, a precursor to the Air Force Research Lab, drafted a 3-page proposal detailing several potential non-lethal chemical weapons. This one, eventually acquired by the Sunshine Project, linking it all together, explores the notion of a gay bomb, the unconventional idea involving the dispersion of sex pheromones over enemy forces with the intent of generating mutual sexual attraction among them. Yeah, it didn't work out.
What happened? They all just
You
got
can't
boners
do
and
it.
kept fighting?
Yeah,
Or?
I don't think I can just drop a bomb at your house, Hudson. You're gonna want to start banging your friend.
You can't do that. You can't disperse sex pheromones.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a thing that could happen, but
That's like, oh, just drop some Spanish fly on them. I don't understand.
so it was considered a gay bomb because it was being dropped on men, not because it like honed gay people.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
it makes you gay.
It makes you gay, and you'll
Oh.
be so attracted to
Oh
someone. that you'll-
no! And then
I
you just
I can't stop making out with you, dude. Bro,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
Okay, there's like what imagine like they test this. And there's one guy, everybody else like, no, what the fuck?
yes!
This doesn't work. And
He's
there's
like,
one guy
it works
that's like
perfectly on that guy.
he's just like, but maybe he's quiet about it, and then he's just like looking over. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. He's heartbroken.
All right. The last one is that the Illuminati and the U.S. government have an actual association, and this is true.
We talked about that, I think.
Well, no, the actual one is the link is like if you spell Illuminati backwards and go to the website, Illuminati backwards.com. So like Itanama Muli, whatever, it will bring you to the NSA website.
Somebody bought that domain and
This is a joke.
redirected it to
Exactly,
the NSA. Come
exactly.
on, that's how
That
that
doesn't make it not true that there is a link to now.
No, that's true. There's a literal link. But it's funny, you know, apropos of the Illuminati being charged with the government, like George Carlin tapped into this, and I'm sure it's been said by other people, but like, you know, who's a greater scholar and poet than George Carlin, who talked about how like most like there is no like formal Illuminati. Like there's no like Stonecutters-esque singing and dancing aliens and Mr. T working together. But the elite in the country, they all went to the same schools, they all play at the same country clubs, they're all golfing on the same courses, they're all friends.
Yeah.
And their interests are all at the same level. So as a result, they all work in tandem with each other because they all have the same outcomes and desires for that outcome. So like
Right.
it's not necessarily like a formal structured Illuminati. I feel like if it was, it would collapse immediately because human beings are terrible at collaboration. We're also the inventors of it, but we're terrible at it. And we're bad at keeping secrets. So instead of doing that, just like we all want, like, okay, well, all of us in this room want to keep playing golf here, keeping particular people out of this club, and making sure, yeah, exactly, and keeping our money. What do we need to do at our level to keep that happening? And then they just do it. And it's like that technically becomes a conspiracy, but it's not necessarily like a formal, structured conspiracy theory, like, like an MC Escher machine, like we'll just trigger this and it becomes this and it turns over here. One of these days, apropos of nothing, we should talk about War Plan Red.
I don't know what that one is.
War Plan Red is the unclassified or declassified U.S. government plan to invade Canada.
Why would we want to do that?
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's why we never used it. But like, just in case we ever needed to destroy Canada, we have something on the books for that.
1930, we came up with a plan to invade and destroy Canada. What stopped it was the outbreak of World War II.
Yeah, we all worked together. We're like, oh well, you know what? Actually, it'd be a real pain in the ass.
We're the Fire Nation, man. Like the more I say it, the more it's upsetting to understand. Like we're the villain in every history movie where it's like, then the Mongols invaded. It's like, no, then the U.S. invaded needlessly, but we keep writing the history books on it, so we're pretending we're not the villains. But this is horrible. Everything we do is bad.
Well, War Plan Red, for me, War Plan Red is a Batman contingency. That's one of those things where it's like, look, they're right there. We need to know how. I don't want to be caught with my pants down. I don't want a bunch of people like wielding their hockey sticks, throwing maple syrup at me,
bringing their horses down,
riding their horses in their oversized hats and their very sharp-looking red jackets. I don't want to be, and I don't want to be like, I didn't have a plan for that.
The one guy who survived the gay bomb made it, and he's like, I don't want to be around those handsome Canadians.
Yeah,
while they're riding down the mountain, coming after us.
Yep. I'm just saying,
all right,
man.
guys, but that is the return of Nope. We're going to go through a bunch more of these, like, are these theories real or not? Go to our Discord. We have a channel for it, Nope, if you want to throw out ideas. If any of them are big enough that we can flesh out an entire episode on it, we will. But let me know what you guys think of this episode. Do you want Nope back? Let us know in the comments down below, and we will see you next time right here.